everyone, and welcome to Burn Pilates. My name is Lydia, and today I'm going to be leading you through a reformer-inspired AAA ass abs arms class using props with movements to get in a reformer-inspired feedback training. Today we're going to be using a chair, a Pilates ball, a set of weights, and gliders. My weights are 2 pounds, and I do not suggest going heavier than 5. If you're using a chair, just make sure that your chair doesn't have wheels on it. And of course, make the best options for you and your body. You don't need equipment to get in a great workout today. The equipment is always extra. Set up your mat, set your space up, keep some water close by, and let's get right into our reformer-inspired AAA class together. Welcome. Setting up on your mat. Bring your weights to either side of your mat so that they are easily accessible to you, and grab your Pilates ball. We're going to come all the way down onto the back. Starting with feet on the base of the chair, using the chair exactly like you would use a foot bar. We're going to place the ball right between the inner thighs. Make sure that you have your heels supported where the chair is totally balanced underneath. Just make sure that your feet are centered on the chair. Find your stability here, collarbones wide, shoulders dropping down away from your ears. Take a full breath in. And on your exhale, activate your inner thighs into your ball. Tighten up your core muscles. Find your neutral pelvis the next time you inhale, lightly exaggerating that arch in your lumbar. And as you exhale, squeezing into the ball. Rolling your spine through imprint, pressing your heels into the base of the chair to lift up one vertebrae at a time into your bridge. Take a full breath in at the top, and as you lower, squeezing that ball, try to massage and lower down one vertebrae at a time, snaking your spine through that imprint to find neutral. Waking up your hamstrings. Using your arms in the mat, start to tap into the feeling of your muscles controlling the weight of your body. If ever you needed to modify or the chair just wasn't for you today, you can do your bridge work from the floor. And that's really the goal here in choosing how you want to work. You can always take modifications where you need. And you can always choose progressions where you can. Keep rolling through imprint, lifting up one vertebrae at a time, finding space in your body, activating through your posterior chain. Squeeze into the ball to really work the midline here as you roll down and up. Start to feel what's happening in your hamstrings. Activate your arms even more to help stabilize your back. Going for one more bridge here. Deep breath in and exhale. Press your arms down into the floor, and as you lower your hips in a neutral spine, lower just halfway. Feel the stretch across your hips as you lift up and squeeze your glutes with that ball. Deep breath in and exhale. Let's go for 4. Really waking up the backs of the legs here for 3. Last set of 2. Finishing with one more. Take a lift, and as you breathe in, start to lower one vertebrae at a time down. Control the weight of your pelvis. Slide your hands across the floor, nod on up, find your weights, and from here, reach your arms all the way up towards the ceiling, shoulders stabilizing down, collarbones are wide, neutral pelvis, neutral spine. Open up and bring your arms back to the ceiling, breathing in as you stretch across your chest. Exhale as the arms stretch up to the ceiling. Just make sure that you're not feeling your shoulders get pulled off the floor. Back is wide, ribs are knitted together. Tailbone is heavy. Add a squeeze of the ball every time your arms reach up. Squeeze and tighten up your inner thighs. Inhale, exhale. I actually want you to move really fluidly with your breath. So just connect with how you are breathing in and consciously breathing out. It doesn't have to necessarily be one-on-one with your movement. You just want to make sure you're not locking anything into place and that you're not holding your breath. You're keeping the movement fluid, keeping the oxygen circulating. Let's go for a last set here of 3. Really feeling that chest expansion, contracting your pelvic floor muscles as you squeeze the ball. Try to hold your squeeze in at the top right here. Arms are reaching, palms facing forward. Inhale as your arms move back. Anticipate the floor, and exhale as your arms reach back up towards the ceiling, shoulders staying down. You're holding onto the ball the entire time here. There's no release through the inner thighs. Keep squeezing in tight. If ever the weight is too much, you know what to do. Listen to your shoulders. Keep growing your spine long. Knit those ribs in as the arms stretch, working your obliques to stabilize your trunk. We're gonna go for a last set here of 3. That ball, keep it squeezed. Don't let the inner thighs relax. Final set of 2. Deep breath in, reach all. And exhale. We're going to take the arms from here, reaching forward, nodding up, thoracic curl. Deep breath in as you roll back down, shoulders to floor, spine long. Extend your arms, squeeze that ball, and reaching back up. When the arms pass your shoulder alignment here, that's when you nod your chin and take your ab curl, ribs sliding towards the hips. Just like on the machine when we do ab preps, you're working the movement pattern first before accenting any challenge on. Let's go for a last set of 2. Collarbones wide. Squeeze that ball. On your final one here, reach your arms all the way forward, turn your palms up to ceiling, and from here, taking your legs and feet into tabletop, squeeze your feet together, have your toes still flex with your heels, and start to squeeze into the ball. Exhale a little deeper into the core. Every time you squeeze, try to hold the squeeze a bit longer. Release, hold, 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 hold. Release, hold, 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 hold. Deep breath in, and exhale. Go for another set of 4. Arms reaching out like offering, palms to ceiling. Go for a last one, keep your squeeze, but separate your feet, knee width distance, stretch your toes, and flex your feet. We're gonna add a bicep curl. Every time you flex is when you curl. Every time you stretch the toes is where you reach your arms out in length. If your shoulders peeled up off the floor are not for you today, modify and take your back and neck flat down. Keep your head on the floor. If you're lifted, make sure that you again are firming into your core. You're looking towards your ball. The elbows are floating off the mat, and you're contracting into your bicep as you pull the weights in towards you. Breathe in. As you stretch out with your toes, squeeze the ball, exhale, extend. Let's go for a last set of 4. For 3, and stretch. Last 2. And stretch. Finish with one more here. Send your weights down to the floor. Palms right away, coming behind the nape of the neck. You're going to take your legs and you're going to internally rotate as you breathe in. And then exhale as you externally rotate, attaching your feet all the way back in together to that little Pilates V. Squeezing your ball as you internally rotate. Keeping that squeeze as you come back into the external rotation. Let's go for a last set of 4. Keep garnering length through your neck by using your hands to apply light feedback into the back of your head. Match that feedback with your head and feel where you're able to connect your body into holding your body in form. Separate your knees, that hip bone width and distance. Take your arms all the way down to the mat. Release your shoulders, neck, and spine. Stretch your thighs, lengthen up to the ceiling. Inhale to bend, tabletop. Try not to touch the chair. Anticipate it. Collarbones wide. Feel your back on your mat with the presence that you would have if you were on the machine. Shoulders plug down, collarbones wide. Exhale, stretch for a last set here of 4, 3. Every time the toes lengthen up to the ceiling and you stretch your hamstrings, that's an opportunity to tighten up into your abs even more. Suction cup your navel towards your spine. Taking your legs from here all the way back down to the chair, flex your feet. Find your chair, take your ball all the way out of your thighs. Place your ball somewhere close by. We're gonna grab one of the toning balls, one of the weights. Bring your legs back to tabletop and place your weight directly on top of your shins. If you can't balance it there, place it between your knees. You're gonna take your hands back behind the nape of your neck, holding your thoracic curl right here to start. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift up. Open your elbows towards the sides of your floor, and as you nod, feel your arms slightly close in so that you can wrap those fingers around your head and really curl where the ribs are gliding towards your hips. The closer your weight is towards your ankles, the more challenging this will be for your abs. If ever you feel your lumbar spine is starting to work harder than it should, eliminate the weight. Let's go for a last set of 3. Stretch out through your chest and exhale, glide the ribs towards your hips. Last set of 2 and exhale. On the next one here, you're gonna reach your right hand all the way out. Bring your knees over top of your chest, take your weight from your legs, send your right arm all the way up towards the ceiling, and from here, lower back down. You can keep your left hand behind your head. You can also have your left arm next to your hip. We're gonna open single right arm towards the side and exhale, lift back up. As you open, keep your knees in that tabletop. Squeeze your inner thighs strong. Let's add the feet. You're flexing as the arm opens. You're pointing as the arm lifts back up. Feel your obliques work right here. Just like single arm and strap, you're working to find that control. Inhale and exhale. Last set here of 3. You never want to touch the floor entirely with your arm. You want to get almost all the way down, anticipate, float, and then bring the arm all the way back up. Keep your toes pointed. This time as you open your right arm up, you're going to stretch your left leg forward and then come all the way back. Breathing in at the top, exhaling this time as you open. Starting to feel the core work a little more here. Really getting those obliques to turn on. Now, depending on your base of chair, that's going to be the determining factor in how low you can stretch your single leg out. So always feel free to move further away if you need a bit more space. Try to be as cognizant of your spatial and surroundings as you can. I said spatial, I meant space. Space and surroundings. Guys, when I am teaching these classes and filming them for you, I'm feeling them as well. So sometimes the words don't come out perfectly. There might be grammatical errors. Bear with me. Go for a last one. Also not good to laugh when you're doing abs. Take a full breath in and exhale, nodding all the way up. Bring your arm down to your side. From here, you're going to reach your arm all the way out. Inhale. As you exhale, double leg stretch is your option. Inhale. You can also do single leg if you want to keep it a little bit more focused in finding stability, and you can also keep your legs in tabletop if ever you need. Your arm is opening to a wide T position. You stretch, reaching towards your hip. Let's go for a last set of 2. Go for one more. Inhale as you open, navel to spine. Exhale, stretch, reach, reach, reach. Take your feet down to the chair, lower head, neck, and shoulders. Move softly, move with intention. Taking your weight into your left hand, bring your right hand behind your head, or have your right arm static next to your hip if you need a little bit more support. Again, make the choices that feel best for your body. Lifting one leg up at a time into tabletop. First, knit your thighs together, flex your feet, squeeze your inner thighs strong, suction cup your abs to control that your hips don't start to arch your lumbar spine off the floor. Inhale as you open, anticipate the ground, exhale to lift. Adding on right away, every time your arm goes down, you keep your feet flexed, and as your arm lifts, you point your toes. Keep fusing your back down into that floor. Use your ground to support you. Inhale to open and exhale to close. Now start to notice the difference on this side here. And can you get into those fine-tuning choices of installing the same integrity into your movement quality here? Squeeze your knees and exhale. The next one that you take, you're going to keep your toes pointed. Keep the feet nice and activated here. You're going to inhale as you hold, and as you exhale, stretching right leg out as the left arm opens to the side. I know on camera it's going to look like my leg is possibly touching the chair. It's not. I'm using my spatial awareness to anticipate the chair and really work the form in the diagonal of reaching right leg long, left arm to side. Go for another set here of 4. Ooh, feel those abs for 3. Deep breath in, exhale for 2. Go for a last one. Keep moving through slow means of control. You're going to nod all the way up. And from here, open your arm to a wide T. Breathe in, stop at your shoulder alignment. Exhale. Choices to double leg stretch, single leg stretch, or keep your knees in tabletop. Exhale. If you're using the double leg stretch, squeeze your muscles into the midline. Use your glutes, use your inner thighs. Use all of your leg muscles to pull all the way into that length. Last set of 3. Last set of 2. Finish your last one here, breathing in as you open. Exhale, stretch, reach, 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 reach. Smoothly nod all the way back down. Take your weight back towards the right side of your floor. And from here, just open your legs up into a butterfly, either feet on the chair or on the floor. If it feels nice to bring the arms into a cactus position, windshield the right thigh over to the left and just look over towards your right forearm. Breathe into the space that you've created in your spine and exhale. Eyes to center, open up into the butterfly and switch legs. Left towards the right, eyes towards the left cactus arm. Breathe into your spine and waist and exhale, opening all the way back up. Close your legs all the way back into a parallel positioning. Reach your arms off the floor, nod on up, grabbing right behind your hamstrings. From here, pull your legs up off the chair, straighten towards the ceiling, and increase the lift of your shoulders by reaching your hands a little higher up right behind your calves. From here, take a full breath in through your nose. And on your exhale, release your legs, stretch your arms out in opposition. Legs follow that long leg line towards the chair, double leg stretch. When you bring your hands back behind the hamstrings or the calves, try to pull yourself up a little bit more, really rounding here, stretching away. Breathe in and exhale. Let's go for a last set of 2. Ooh. Go for that last one. Stretch out, reach away. Take your hands behind hamstrings, calves. And from here, bending your knees, open your thighs up, roll on up. We're going to right away switch the positioning. You're going to be still using your weights. Just keep your Pilates ball close by. And right from here, grab one glider. We're going to be using the glider to move very similarly to how we would if we were on the carriage using a light spring. I want you to set up with your weight in your right hand, taking your left hand to the base of your chair, right toes go on the glider. You're going to stretch your right leg all the way out. Now from here, you want to eliminate the potential to arch your spine, so distance in terms of your chair will be necessary. Bring your left forearm down and make sure that your weight is very much centered over top of your body, over top of the floor. Your right leg is stretched out, and from here, I want you to go a little bit deeper into your stretch. Feel the increase of length that you are targeting by keeping that right leg activated where the knee isn't dropping to the floor. You're pressing your toes into that glider. The left hip right here is a full deep crease. When you use the glider to lift yourself back up, you're returning to the same start position, so you're not leaning forward. You're just coming back up onto the supported position of left forearm and left knee, hips staying in parallel. Again, let's just practice that. Stretch on back. pushing right leg away, stretching your body in length, and exhale, coming all the way back up. This could be modified if you need to use a countertop, the floor, anything else to stabilize you. I'm not really sure what countertop would be this low, but it was the first thing that came to mind. It could be the mantle. Technically, my window is pretty much the same level as the base of the chair, so you could use that as well. You're just working to get that hip to stretch on out. Right hip stretching, increasing that flexion to the left side, come all the way up. Now from here, keep your right toes flexed on the glider. Hips are gonna stay parallel. Left forearm is fully present in the chair. Right arm comes down. Take a full breath in, and on your exhale, reach your right arm all the way out, lower down. It's tough to stay square and balanced when you have the right leg that's behind you and the right arm, same arm as leg, is working. So focus here on keeping your shoulders square and not twisting towards the right. If you need to accent more connectivity to your ground, you could flex your left toes. They don't have to be flat. Play around with your position. Just make sure you're not sinking. You're pushing the left forearm down into the chair. Let's go for a last set here, 4. Exhale. Deep breath in. You're controlling the lower as much as the lift, so make sure you're not swinging nor dropping. Let's go for a last set of 2. And deep breath in. Keep activating through the right thigh. Don't let the knee start to bend. Taking your right arm all the way up, hold the sideline. From here, take an inhale, reach all the way back, send your right arm over top of the chair, and exhale as you bring your body back up. The right arm stacks right on that T line next to shoulder. Inhale. So the work here in opposition is through friction and gravity. You're pressing the right leg further out, gliding your toes by pushing them down, stretching your right arm all the way out in opposition so that this right side of your body here is fully lengthening. Not just partially lengthening, fully. Let's go for a last set of 2. Ooh, I think now you know why we're not using heavier than 5 pounds. Exhale. Last one. Take your arm all the way down. And from here, bring your toes off your glider. Open up your knees and thighs. And if it feels good to take a child's pose with your chair or hands on the floor, listen to your body and play around. When you're ready, unraveling, setting up for the second side, just making sure that you have your glider all ready to go for the left toes. Right forearm comes onto the chair, the left toes fully flex into the glider. Grab the weight with your left hand. Keep your weight with your hand on the chair first, and just practice this stretching out of your hip. The left knee is staying fully lifted, and your goal is to not pull yourself up and back using your chest, but rather to use your hips. So you're pressing out and back, lengthening through this left hip flexor. The right side gets tight into flexion, because when one part of the body flexes, another one extends. Practice that length. Let's just go for one more like that. Deep breath in. Keep activating through the left side. Use your glute, use your toes, come on up. Take your weight with your left hand, stack your arm all the way down so that it is draped from your shoulder to the floor. Lift up to your T without swinging and lower down. Neck is long. Keeping the shoulders and hips square is part of the challenge, especially as you're lifting that left arm up. You have an entire open left side here of your body. It's only the right side that's stabilizing. So focus. Find your form and precision. Flex your left glute to help keep that kneecap lifted. We don't want the knee to bend. There's lots of activation here. I know you can't see on camera, but I am sweating and I'm also trembling. The next time you take your arm all the way up, keep it up. And from here, we're gonna start arm and leg work, stretching out in opposition. Arm reaches over the chair as the left leg sends energy back. And exhale, come all the way back to T. Whew. You might be noticing differences as we go into the second side here. I know I am. But every day is an opportunity to challenge those limitations, to notice what's happening in your body, and to bring that intel really into your own awareness. That's how we get to know ourselves better. Finish with one last rep here. Breathe in to stretch. Exhale, drag yourself all the way up. Bring your weight down to the floor and stepping off your glider. Any variation of shell stretch, child's pose, or any other stretch that feels good for you. When you're ready, unraveling one vertebrae at a time, coming all the way up to a seated position. Just give yourself a quick spine stretch here. Lift the arms and open up wide. Setting up from here, keep your gliders out of the way. We're going to go back to our Pilates ball. We're also going to use our weights. What you want to do is bring your Pilates ball right behind your mid-back. Think of having it right behind, for ladies, bra line, gentlemen, right below your shoulder blades. If ever you need to have it a little higher or lower based on your spine length, listen to how the movement quality is working for you. Now, your feet are under your chair. Make sure there's some space. I might have to move my chair just a bit forward. Perfect. You're going to glue your feet together and bring your hands right behind the nape of your neck, elbows closing in now. As we bring a thoracic curl into our upper back, chest, and six pack, your goal is to keep your hips in this light pelvic scoop under. Your inhale is taking you down. You're not letting your lumbar spine arch out. You're keeping that abdominal connectivity. Exhale as you nod up. Start to get into the movement quality and rhythm that feels best for you. Deep breath in, open up to your chest, and exhale. The more your knees and inner thighs can connect with your feet, the more you can make your two legs one unit, the more you will garner work from your abs and deep core stabilizers. We think sometimes of the abs just as the six pack, but the abs are also the transverse. We have our internal obliques, our external obliques. So there's really a lot going on. And usually to target muscles that don't always activate on their own, we have to harness the ability to target different muscles. So in this case, the more you can use your legs and squeeze your inner thighs, the more you'll help the lower abs. Now that being said, keep feeling where you're able to open your chest. The ribs are taking an extension outwards, and then you're gliding your ribs down towards your hips. Deep breath in as you open, and exhale. Let's go for a last set of 2. On the next one here, take a full inhale, lean back, exhale, nod on up. You're going to bring your weight from the right side into your right hand, palm facing the ceiling. Take your left leg all at to tabletop, making sure that you have space enough to move. We're going to be using the chair as proprioceptive awareness. You inhale to hold your thoracic curl. On your exhale, you're going to open your right arm to your side as you stretch your left leg forward. So working from the abs, with the connection to our arm. Don't lose the weight outside of your peripheral as you stretch your arm to the side. Make sure that when your left knee is bending, it's bending right over top of your hip alignment to tabletop. You're not bending all the way into your chest. Exhale. If you want a bit more challenge to play with, you can always go under your chair, and this will give you a little bit more room in where you're going to with your leg. The depth that you start to get into will become more challenging. You have a bigger range of motion to take the toes, dipping them under, and then bring them right up over the chair. And that's one of the reasons why I love using a chair for these reformat classes that are mat-based, because no different than a footbar. You're bringing that awareness into your body, challenging your proprioceptive awareness. Exhale. Open. Navel to spine. Go for a last set here for 3. For 2. Finish with one more. Breathe into stretch and exhale. You're going to take your leg either under or over the chair. Hold the stretch. And from here, without losing your thoracic curl, bicep curl toward your shoulder and stretch. The weight is light if you're using 2 pounds. So really focus on how you're gripping and curling in and also how you're stretching and pushing out. You never want to stretch where you lock out your elbow or where you start to bounce the movement. What I mean by bounce is this. That kind of quality. You're curling and the weight should always be able to see your shoulder like an eyeball. You curl in, you stretch. Hold on to that length of the left leg. Breathe in and exhale. Hips staying stable. Go for a last set of 2. Whew, last one. You're going to take your weight, bring it down to the floor. Left foot stacks next to the right. Right hand goes right behind the nape of the neck. And we come back to our starting movement. Inhale as you open up your chest. Eyes to ceiling. Exhale as you nod up. Feel comfortable enough to start to open up your spine a little bit more as you look at the ceiling. Maybe you roll a little bit more back, but not at the expense of your hips, and especially your lumbar shifting. You're keeping that pelvic scoop. We don't want to go into any anterior pelvic tilt, which is an arch. You want to keep your belly hollowing out, navel to spine, and exhale. Let's go for a last set here of 3. For 2. Go for 1 more. Breathe into open and exhale. Hold the curl. Grab the weight with your left hand. Reach your arm all the way out, palm to ceiling. Right leg comes all the way to tabletop. Starting from here, inhale. On your exhale, open. And start to stretch your right leg over top of your chair. Hips staying stable. Look at your navel. Look at your pubic bone. See that your hips are holding that parallel and that nothing is starting to arch out. You're using your right hand behind your head to help support your shoulders, to help support this flexion of your spine coming from your abs. If you're ready to add on a little bit of the depth, you're going to take your right toes and you're going to stretch under the chair as your arm opens. Make sure your left leg is staying stable. I started to see mine shift towards the left. You want to keep that left knee and leg completely stable and parallel. Ooh. And again, if it's annoying and you keep hitting the chair, give yourself more distance. This is the beauty about working out online. You can always press pause and come back after making any kind of adjustments that you need. Let's go for a last sit here of 4 and exhale. For 3. Working from the core while still training that arm tension. You're pursuing length in your body. And on your last one here, holding your arm out, you can stretch your right leg over or under the chair. Keep the stretch and start to bicep curl. Exhale to curl, inhale to reach. Check your hip bones, make sure they're square. And as you stretch your right leg out, fully see that your kneecap is elongated. As a teacher, I avoid saying locked out because I've been trained to avoid saying locked out. People lock out and then they don't have support from their muscles, but I want you to lock your knee out. I want you to lock your joint out for muscle control. There's a difference between locking a joint without activating the muscles, but you should feel that if somebody were to bounce dollar coins off of your thigh, off of your calf, off of any part of your leg, it just bounce off. That's how tight your muscles are. They're fully extended, they're working. Let's go for a last set of 2. Finish your last one here. Curl in. As you take your weight to the floor, bring your right foot down, reach your hands for behind the hamstrings, and roll yourself all the way up. Sit your hips back, move your ball out of the way, and either using your chair or floor, take a stretch, reaching forward. Spoolie when you're ready, unravel one vertebrae at a time. We're going to be setting up right away for some glute work. And this is the one thing that I'm going to preface in terms of setting up for your exercise here, is that if your floor is super hard, mine is wood, you may need a little bit of extra cushioning underneath your knees. So listen to your body so that you do have the support needed for your knees, and just so that your joints don't feel like they're getting bruised into your ground. Now we're going to be using weight. We are also going to be using a glider, so keep the glider close by. From here, Set up right away with your knees on your mat. You're gonna take your weight and bring it right behind the back of your right kneecap. You're gonna take your left hand onto your chair, and from here, you're gonna bring your right leg to the floor. Now, from here, I can show you very much that I am too close to my chair. Where you wanna be, and this is gonna be how you're gonna know exactly how your setup is in terms of your distance, is that you wanna have your right hand stacked under your shoulder. You want to have your chair stretched out enough, or at least your body stretched back from your chair enough, that your left arm can be fully long without it just being your hand, because you don't want your elbow to sink. You want your arm to be supported as a means of you pushing down and pulling your shoulder back. I'll actually just show you really quickly on the right side so that you have a really clean and clear visual. Notice this. If my fingers, never mind my knee, never mind my ball, are on the chair and I'm dropping and drooping, no bueno. You want to get enough of your arms supported on the chair, possibly more of your wrists and even forearms, so that this doesn't happen. Rather, you can push down and feel elevated and also feel work from your lat. All right, without further ado, right hand is down. It's the left arm that's up because we're using the weight in the back of the right kneecap. Get your chair further away if you need so that the moves make sense and so that you have the form for you. We're all different lengths of limbs, so listen to your body. You're gonna lift your right leg all the way up from here, keeping your toes either pointed or flexed. Lower your knee down. The second you feel the presence of the floor, you are taking your leg back up, making sure not to overly arch your hips, keeping your hips square, activating through your right glute and activating through your abs. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Making sure that you're not shifting your weight into your left hip where you start to lean. It's exactly like working on the reformer where we're finding balance and finding connectivity through resistance. The left arm is pressing down to help keep the shoulders square and so that you can also feel activity through your chest and back. Press the left arm down. Feel now where your right leg is lifted, that you technically can't go higher than your hip bone because you're at a 90 degrees. Now that being said, we're trying to stretch and open up to the right hip, which you'll see as you lift, you decrease the hinge that happens naturally. Notice the hip is creased when you lower, the hip stretches when you lift. If your toes are pointed, flex them out, and if you had a flex foot, point your toes. Keep going down and up. Inhale and exhale. The tighter you connect into your core, the more you may feel a visceral tremble in your body. And that's a great way to know and tell if you are in the form that's working not just your muscles, but also your postural alignment, your skeletal connections. Let's go for a last set of 3. Check in with that left arm, press it down. Exhale for 2. Last one from here, hold your leg all the way up. Keep your leg lifted and go for a small pulse with your foot flexed or pointed. Tiny little increments of movement, trying to find that stop at the top, stop at the top, stop at the top. Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, taking your leg all the way down. From here, lower your left arm to the floor. Take your weight all the way out. You're gonna bring your glider, just one, underneath your left toes. Take your weight with your right hand, stretch your right arm all the way out. Flex your toes on your glider and send the energy of your left leg all the way out and away. From here, starting first with your arm, you're gonna lower, let your knuckles touch the floor. Keep your arms stretched and work for an extension like you are on the machine working in a single arm and strap series. Classic plow, inhale to lower, exhale to lift. Have your knuckles touch your floor at the furthest extent where your arm is longest away from your shoulder. Don't do this. Don't bring your arm under and then stretch away. Keep your arm distanced from your shoulder. Let's go for a last set of 3. Exhale to lift for 2. The next time you lift your arm up, I want you to turn your palm so your weight faces in towards your waist, knuckles face out. As you breathe in, you hold. Your shoulders are square, your neck is long. As you exhale, you open your left leg with your right arm. The right arm opens towards a 3 o'clock. Your left leg opens towards an 8 o'clock. So you're working here to get both limbs into the system of movement. We were targeting your core. Flex your left toes into your glider. Really stretch your left leg back and start to feel that your glute is closing your left leg as your arm on your right side is coming all the way into your midline. Open your right arm with your left leg and close right in towards the hip. Abs staying active, ribs knitted together, everything staying square. We go for a last set of 4. Deep breath in for 3 and exhale. Last set of 2. Finish with 1 more. Deep breath in and exhale, close. Taking your weight all the way down first. Bring your left knee to the mat second and take a child's pose third. Ooh, I'm feeling some shakes today. Just calm your parasympathetic nerve. Let your body feel as if it's done. You're going to unravel 1 vertebrae at a time, making your way all the way up to all 4s. Do a couple cat-cows here and just stretch your chest and back. Notice where you naturally have more flexibility and try to bring awareness into the part of your back that feels a little less naturally mobile. For me, that's my upper back. My lower back is a lot more flexible, so I have to really work on stretching and opening and pulling my chest through, lengthening the neck. Maybe for you, it's a different part of your back, but bring awareness into your body. What do you feel? Let's finish right here, coming to neutral spine, neutral pelvis. All right. You can take your toes onto your glider. We're starting everything backwards. You're going to grab your weight into your left hand. From here, stretch and straighten your right leg all the way out. Setting up in neutral. From here, we're going to go through the full series on the second side. So again, just making sure that you do have the cushion that you need for your mat. You're going to grab your glider, make sure that's over on your right side so it's easy to find. Grab one of your weights. Place your weight into the back of your left knee. The right arm is going to stretch out over on the chair. You have your knees separated hip bone width and distance. The left arm is stacked right underneath your left shoulder. And again, you're not collapsing. You're pressing down, elongating your spine. So do a quick check. If you're here, press down. Feel your right arm activate. If you worked it from that last series to a good amount of effort, you might even feel a shake right here. You're going to lift your left leg all the way up, starting with your toes pointed or flexed. Breathe into lower, exhale to lift. The second you've touched your mat and touched your floor, that's it, that's all. Keep lifting your leg up, well, controlling that your abs are staying drawn forward. And what I mean by that is pubic bone to navel. Think of that connection so that this doesn't happen. You're keeping one long line of support. You might even feel that the mobility of your left side is cut off as you activate your abs more. And that's sort of the feeling that you want to have. Your abs are blocking your leg from swinging up, because if the abs aren't working, oh my gosh, look at the back. It'll do whatever the heck it wants. So keep your abs engaged. Deep breath in. Right arm stretching out, pressing down. Feel your shoulder pull back. Work absolutely every inch of your body here, not just ass, abs, arms, everything. You want to feel this right through the center, right through your core. Transverse obliques. Rectus abdominis, keeping the ribs knitted together. If your toes are pointed, flex your foot and continue to lift and lower. Notice the difference when your foot is flexed or pointed. How has it changed for you in the activation that you're recruiting right here? Keeping this going right here for another set of 5. Exhale for 4, 3, last 2. The next one you lift into, you're gonna keep your leg lifted, hold right here, and we go down and up. Intentional pulse. Keep going deeper by stopping the movement and not just fluidly going through it or rushing through it, I should say. You really want to stop, stop, stop. Check in with your right arm now, press it down. Last 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take your knee all the way down. From here, you're gonna bring the weight all the way out. Keep your weight in your left hand. Bring your right toes onto your glider. You're gonna stretch your right leg all the way out. Make sure that your left knee is stacked under your hip. Send the energy of your right arm down through the floor. Lengthen your left arm all the way out and away next to your hip. You're gonna start to lower and lift your left arm up, keeping it at the furthest distance from your shoulder so that the second your knuckles touch the floor as you reach and extend back, that's your max lower. Now as you stretch your arm back, keep feeling the crown of your head reach forward. Start to activate now the right leg. Contractions to the glute, push your toes down. Don't just let the leg be there. Activate it. Feel the difference on this side. Grip into your weight where your wrist is rolled on up, and we're gonna go for a last set here of 2. The next time you lift your arm, hold it all the way up. Turn your palms so the weight faces in, knuckles face out. You open, left arm to 9 o'clock, right leg opening towards a 5 o'clock. Actually, to make it even, it's 4 o'clock, 4 or 5. Torso staying centered. Breathe in as you stretch out and away, and exhale, close right into the midline. Use the force now as much as you can through your floor. Spread your right toes down, push into the glider, squeeze into your glute. You have to activate mentally because the movement itself doesn't have enough feedback, doesn't have enough challenge on its own. So to get into the challenge, push down and feel where your muscles are being fully locked and loaded. Ooh, last set of 3. Deep breath in. Exhale for 2. Neck long, neck lengthen. Go for a last one here. Breathing in to stretch. Exhale, close in, in. Hug the waistline. Flex the right glute and bring your weight down. Right knee to the mat. Go into any variation of stretch that feels good. And again, just try to calm your body. When you're ready, unravel one vertebrae at a time. Come to a seated position. Just allow for your eyes to gaze forward. Look from left to right a couple times. Return your neck back onto your neutral. Feel awareness, kind of like you're coming out of a deep rest or a meditation. I sort of looked for my words there for a second because I thought we haven't been deeply resting. But sometimes after doing concentrated mat work, you just want to give your eyes and your focus a chance to come back to the present moment. From here, we're going to take it to a stretch. Sit up in long knees, flex your feet, and sit your butt all the way down directly on top of your heels. This is a tough stretch, so listen to your body. The goal is to really feel right here that you are cutting circulation off from your toes all the way through your feet, stretching your toes, really stretching your metatarsals. Shoulders roll back and down, arms can hang heavy at your sides. The goal is to hold the stretch for up to a minute. However, it's a very intense one, so I always like to remind people to build gradually. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds, so we're just going to stay here for about 15 seconds more. Keep lengthening through your spine, keep growing your neck long. When you feel these levels of discomfort come in, breathe into them. Follow me to come out of this. Don't rush. Weigh your hands forward. Shift your body weight into your hands. Lift your feet off the floor without flexing or pointing. Try to keep your toes soft and just start to roll and circle your ankles. Bring that circulation back into your ankles, back into your legs, back into your feet. Switch directions. That's a great stretch to do, especially for these winter months when we want ankle stability, especially for those of you who are with me in a colder climate where there's snow on the ground and that snow is probably over ice. These are also great stretches to do if you have ever had plantar fasciitis, issues with your feet, with your ankles. It's also just a great stretch in general if you're a sports enthusiast and you play tennis, pickleball, you go running, or you're just living life. Guys, without further ado, I want to take opportunity here to say thank you so much for joining me for this Ass Abs Arms class here on the mat. Using all of these props, I hope you felt the same connections that we seek out in reformer work. I find that prop work can quite truthfully be a lot harder because it takes a lot more mental focus to get and garner those qualities that sometimes the reformer just gives like that. So I commend you for following this class till the end. Give it a thumbs up and like it if you enjoyed it, so I know. Give it a thumbs up and like it, and for sure leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. I love to know what you enjoy. I love to help you with anything. I love to help you with any questions you may have about the classes, your body, or any movements that we did today. If this is your first time here on Burn Pilates, I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to check out different membership options so that you can grow your practice, whether it's on the mat, whether it's on the machine, whether it's reformer inspired, or anything at all here offered on my channel. On the machine, or anything at all, machine, or in any other way you are looking to build your Pilates practice. I hope you have an awesome morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. And guys, I will see you at the next burn.